Scene Daddy Interviews.
Welcome everyone to Scene Daddy Interviews. My name is Ian, and this is really cool from the UK. We've got right now on the line, this is on Skype, we've got Lucas from InVisions. Lucas, man, how you doing today?
Yo, dude, yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. We just had our little, off-air conversation about how this is going to go. And I got to say, once again, this sounds really good, and I just love that you're so far away.
Yeah, crazy shit, innit? But, technology can actually be your friend at some points.
Exactly. Yeah, and I did this with Lotus Eater recently, and I did this with a few other bands that have been overseas. Yeah, it's worked out pretty damn well. So right now, obviously, you're about 4 hours ahead right now. How's your day been?
Pretty sweet, to be honest, dude. I've been working on some new music, actually. I don't know if I should say that, but yeah, working on some new music all day and finally making some fucking progress, man, which is good because we've been a bit quiet for a while. So,
well, it's weird to think you guys have had such a busy year, but at the beginning of the year, Between You and Me came out, your sophomore album, but that seems so far away.
Yeah, it's a crazy one, man. Like, obviously, we weren't sat on that album. We were sat on a couple of tracks from that album for almost a year prior to the release of the record. So,
okay.
It's like, well, we actually started writing that record about 3 weeks before our debut album came out.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like, it's the weird thing with like music. Whatever you're hearing from your favorite band now, they're at least like a year ahead and probably sick to fucking death of those songs at that point.
Yeah, I would assume so. And so just so everyone knows, if they haven't gone back and listened or they didn't start with you guys from the beginning, that album's called Never Nothing.
Never Nothing. Yeah, that's the one.
Everyone should go back. Definitely take a listen to that. But so where you guys are right now, we're coming up to the end of the year of, 2019.
Yeah,
how has the year been for you guys since Between You and Me came out? Because that came out in like February, I want to say.
Yeah, February 8th. It's been pretty insane. Like, I mean, just the last 12 months, a lot of shit's happened for the band that we didn't even expect to happen for the band. So like, signing to Stay Sick.
Yeah.
Moving to Avocado with our booking agent Martin. We've played in 12 new countries this year, which is
awesome.
It's fucking ridiculous, man. Like, you never, you always want to and always hope that you're going to get to travel to these places, but to actually, we spent more time, in Europe this year than we actually have in the UK, which is pretty insane for us.
Yeah. No, it's got to be. And by the way, I definitely want to say congratulations on the signing with Stay Sick. That was great news. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So when you guys were working, so you said you had these songs pretty much done for a while there. Were you shopping around? Did you actually shop around Between You and Me to Stay Sick originally?
So we had about half the record done towards probably the middle of last year.
Okay.
So we did have a couple of tracks, and I don't know what we'd been shopping around for labels and pitching to labels ever since we started the band, to be honest. And we were always just, prepared to self-release the record. But we once we started actually recording the tracks, that's when our old manager Carl fired some over to Mike Milford, who is the head at Stay Sick along with Franz.
Yeah.
And we were just, I don't know can't remember what we were doing. I think we were all at a party or something, and we got a message through like, yeah, you're going to have a formal offer through from Stay Sick tomorrow. We're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So that was pretty wild.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And now I don't know if you ever follow press or you follow comments of people, in the scene or not, but I don't know if you've known this, but people have actually sometimes called you the Attila of the UK.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like, I think the first ever rock sound feature we got, the headline was our InVisions the UK answer to Attila. I mean, like, I'll fucking take that, dude. Like, Attila are wicked, so
Of course, I'm actually wearing the Attila pizza shirt under my hoodie right now. Yeah. So no, I wouldn't take that as a negative thing at all.
No, for sure.
But here's the question though to you, because with how music is so fickle at times, what do you say to the people that do take that as a negative?
I mean, it's hard to like it's hard to say really, because if you're taking it as a negative, it's just based on your opinion. And I think,
Sure.
we're all, I mean, especially in the band, we're all very diverse with our music taste. We all like really different shit. So I think we have a pretty good grasp of that music isn't, if you don't like something, it doesn't mean it's a bad band or a bad song. So
Right.
anybody who's saying it's a negative thing, or, trying to basically pigeonhole us with a copycat band or anything like that, it's like, dude, if it's not for you, that's cool, man. But if you spend some time listening to the music, you're gonna hear that it isn't the same band. So
Right.
you know what I mean? It's all down to whether the person's willing to invest the time, or whether they're just going to read headlines and be like, yo, that's what I believe. Like, yeah, nice one, dude. Think for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I think, especially on the show, on social media, on everything, I think people can be very opinionated. I'm certainly very opinionated. There's no doubt about that.
Man, for sure.
But I think the closed-minded thing that people often throw around, they're like, oh, if you don't like a song, you're closed-minded. I don't really agree with that. I agree that you're closed-minded if you didn't give the song or the band a chance.
Yeah, mate, you couldn't have said it better. Like, for real, it's one of those things that I think I say a similar thing. It's like, if you don't give the time to the song, then you can't expect to like it.
Right.
You know, and it's just a weird one, man. Some people are just too quick to be like, no, don't like that. Oh, it's a shit song. It's like, just because it isn't your taste, like, if every single person in this world liked the same music, there would be no good or bad bands. There'd be no successful bands or not, because everyone would be the fucking same.
Yeah, and how boring would that be?
It would be dog shit, dude. Straight up dog shit.
Exactly. Now, have you actually met Franz at all? Have you been able to do anything with them with Stay Sick?
Yeah, man. I think it was about the week after we signed, we actually went out, because Attila were on tour in the UK.
Yeah.
So we went to the show in Manchester and went and linked up with him and kind of hung out with those guys. Shot a couple of little videos for like the album release and stuff, because we'd actually just dropped the first single from the record. Yeah, it was really cool. It's fucking sick. Like, I think everyone has this opinion of like Franz. They see like, all like the flex, but dude, like, the dude listens to hip hop, man. Like, what do you expect?
Right.
And you meet him, and he's literally the soundest fucking person you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
He's just got his head screwed on, and he knows how to push people's buttons, and I respect that.
Oh, absolutely. No, I've met him a few times now on the touring scene, and every time that I talk to him, he's a down-to-earth guy. He's always very appreciative of people that support him and his music and his label. And yeah, for sure, I think he gets that. Obviously, he puts that personality out there, so I'm sure he expects the backlash that he gets. But
oh, hell yeah,
he's also a businessman.
Yeah,
and it works,
For sure, man. I think like we were saying before, everybody wants to hate on something.
Yeah,
and it's like, you kind of be like, well, do you know what? If you want to hate something, hate on me. Like, it doesn't affect you,
right?
It's never stopped us when we've had shit, or people have been saying that our songs are offensive or whatever. It's like, dude, if it offends you, then sorry, but I don't give a fuck.
Right. And I think that way you said it best, because I did want to talk to you about that. There's a lot of quote unquote not safe for work lyrics, and the amount of times, and I don't even know if I should say like, hey, there could be a trigger warning here, because I fucking hate that. But you say one of my favorite words, which is cunt.
Oh,
I love it. I love it. I grew up in England. So
you grew up on cunt. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. That is, I wish that was the motto of the show. I would love for it to be the motto. But with everyone being so sensitive, especially now, obviously you guys are centered in York, but overseas in the States especially, this whole being offended, being triggered, it's really, really mounted, and it keeps on going. It doesn't seem to stop. So do you guys think about that, or think about how your music will, not that it will affect people, but that you might not catch on here as much because of that possibility?
I think, okay, so there was a moment when we were writing the last record, and I was writing some vocal parts for this breakdown section, and I kind of was just like jamming, and I said something, and I was like, oh shit, can we really put that in a song? And every time I think that, I go, fuck yeah, we should put it in a song.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like, end of the day, I don't feel like we're not saying anything that is actually hurtful to anybody, and we are not saying anything that you don't say to your mates behind closed doors. So don't act high and mighty like you don't talk shit. Of course you fucking do.
Yeah. No, it's very strange. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
So it's just that, it's that same thing, in it. Like, people always want to be, they want to go online and they want to be that hero. Everyone's looking for those hero points.
That white knight.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's like, for a fact, the people who, well, not always, but the majority of the time, the people who are the worst for those white knight moments are the same ones that behind closed doors are absolute motherfuckers.
Yes. No, it's absolutely true. So yeah, it's very strange to me that people take that out. I mean, I'm sure you've seen controversies online.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, especially in the pop punk community. I mean, they went off on that one band for using the word whore.
Yeah.
And, Census Fail is re-recording their old material to take out the word bitch and whore. And it's just a strange dynamic. Unfortunately, I haven't lived in England for a while now.
Yeah.
But is the culture the same there, or is everyone still a little bit more free-flowing with, words at least?
It can be hit and miss. It totally depends who you're speaking to, I guess. But I wouldn't say, especially from people I've interacted, that it's as bad.
Okay.
I think it depends what context you're using that in. And if you think about like people not using, like basically censoring themselves, think about how many metalcore bands particularly wouldn't have the careers they do now if they didn't release those songs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Asking Alexandria would have nothing.
Oh, for sure, dude. And think about the, I remember the Amur t-shirt. Next time you see her, ask a girl what my dick tastes like. One of the best bars in fucking metal ever. Straight up.
Oh, I try to forget, to be quite honest, I try and forget Frankie as much as possible, but I did get a laugh out of that, that's for sure.
Oh, dude, like, I just think that's funny as fuck. Like, anybody who takes it in a super offensive way or in a super literal way, like, you're looking for a problem, like, straight up.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of the case. A lot of people are looking for problems, and they're also, they're negating context. And I like that you brought up the word context, because a lot of people they've either forgotten what that definition of the word is, or they choose to forget it because they want to use it for their own personal whatever they're doing.
Yeah, I think because obviously with social media, like, don't get me wrong, I am on social media and, like anybody else.
Sure.
But with social media, there's a lot of, everyone's trying to portray the best version of their lives. And I think that sometimes people also don't like seeing other people succeed.
Right.
So when someone is getting some kind of, clout from something or, doing well, it's easier to burn them than it is to support them.
Right.
And I think that's quite a big culture especially with music. And, it seems to happen with a lot of bands. A lot of bands start doing well, and then instantly it's like, oh, I don't like them anymore. Or, like, they were cool when they, used to be small. And it's like, why are they not cool now? Is it purely because, it's not your pet project of a band that only you knew about?
Exactly.
Which is really weird, man.
Yeah. No, it's got to be strange. Well, tell me a little bit about the culture or the scene, where you guys are. So you're still in York, right?
Yeah, man. I'm actually the only one left in York. Everyone else has moved to Leeds or just outside of York. Yeah, man. I mean, it's only the next city across. So
it's not that far away.
The UK. Yeah, for sure. The UK is, in comparison to the US, is a hella small place, so it's about half an hour drive away. So basically just down the road anyway.
There you go. Well, then, what's that scene like between York and Leeds and, places in between? Are you guys able to support your scene still? Are there bands there that are up and coming that you guys are really looking to, get out there? Because you guys have blown up a lot. Are there other bands that you guys think should also be blowing up as well?
Oh, dude, there's so many bands in the UK right now that are literally destroying it. It's insane. Like, our boys on Hollow Ground, actually.
Oh, sure.
Check them out. They just dropped a cover of a Skepta song, and I don't know if you know Skepta, but he's like a UK grime artist.
Yeah. Yep.
They just dropped a cover yesterday of Shut Down, and it is fucking dope. It's so good, man.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, like, I think, especially with us, pretty much everyone we've toured with or played shows with, they're all unreal. Like, the standard of bands is insane. Like, The City Is Ours, they just dropped their debut, and that is unreal. Homies in Our Hollow Our Home.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll love that. Check them out before.
Yep.
Yeah. Lotus Eater are fucking killing it at the moment.
Yeah, they are.
It's one of these things, like, you kind of struggle to find a bad bill in the UK at the moment because
that's great.
There's so many sick bands. Like, everyone seems to have the same kind of level of professionalism and all, just really, really working and striving to create a career in music, which is at the end of the day exactly what all of us are trying to do.
Right. No, for sure. So now, are you guys looking now? I could be incorrect on this. I tried to look back. I know in my tour history, I haven't seen you guys live, but you guys haven't been to the States yet, right?
Nope, not yet, mate. Unfortunately not. We get a lot of people asking us to come to the US, but it's one of these things, like as soon as the right offer's in place and as soon as basically if the money's there to, cover the cost, not even to turn a profit, we're there. It's just a case of touring for bands is insanely expensive.
Yes.
And, before you even head out on the tour, you have a deficit, which is basically your debt of how much money you have to make back on the tour to even break even, let alone make profit.
Right.
So, it's the one thing to be like, oh, come here, come there. But it's like, if we're not going to get, the money or the right tour package to be able to do that, to justify it, it's like, we've got an option. It's like, do we record another album with that money, or do we go, play somewhere and then have no money to even record another album and basically be in a dead end?
Right. No, so, for sure.
Yeah, it's like you mentioned, a band is definitely 100% a business, and it's all about finding the right time. And as soon as the right time comes, we are straight there. Because believe me, like, we want to be there just as bad as everyone keeps telling us they want us there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No. I think that is important. I think people need to know as well that a lot of times bands don't get to choose where they really want to go at certain times, because it is based on being a business, on money,
for sure,
on what you guys have the ability to do. So that's very true. Now, this isn't a political show, but this is something that I definitely wanted to ask you. So with coming to the States, it might not matter that much, but now with England being with Brexit and having a no-deal Brexit possibly coming up, you had mentioned, traveling so much in Europe. Do you know right now how that might affect bands like yourselves?
Badly. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Nothing is like super clear at the moment. Like, we're proper keeping an eye out, because at the moment for us, it's so easy for us to go and tour Europe. We literally get a ferry and we drive between the countries, we play the shows, and the only place we have to pay like import tax on merch is Switzerland. And that is, you pay import tax on every single item of merch you got, and then when you come back out, they recount the merch, and then you basically get taxed on what you've sold.
Wow.
But the way it could be looking is, it could be that we, get taxed when we go into Europe. We have to provide a documentation of every single, I think it's item, even like down to cables of what we're taking. Like, don't take this for gospel, like,
for sure. But yeah.
From what I can gather, from what I'm seeing, a lot of like touring friends posting about, it's not looking good, and it's a fucking issue, dude. Because at this point, it means, this year we've been insanely present in Europe, but now if all these things come into play, it's going to be harder for us to do that. There's probably other places where we could go where it might actually be easier, because if you're having to get a working visa for every single country in Europe that you're touring,
that's
it
insane.
kind of, dude, like, it defeats the ease of how easy it is to literally hit 12 countries on one tour,
right?
Which is fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, it'd be like trying to get a visa for every state in the United States. Like, that's how great for people that don't understand how Europe works. That's how crazy it would be.
Yeah, it's not looking cool, but fingers crossed, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
but I'm just trying to stay positive.
No, there you go. No, staying positive is good. But yeah, that's why when I talked to Lotus Eater, I didn't get a chance to ask this, but now that everything's really hyped up, because I think when I talked to them, it was only on the table. It hadn't been completely done yet. So now to have it done, and then obviously we're recording this probably a couple weeks before it actually comes out. By the time this is out, they might know whether it's a no-deal Brexit or they might figure all that out. But yeah, you guys got to be keeping a really close eye on that, because of how much just hearing that's insane.
It's crazy, dude. I mean, like, obviously, like, we have our tour manager, Mike Kingswood, and our manager, Connor, just keeping eyes on everything as well as us. And, I mean, don't be wrong, even if it does come into play, we'll still go there and we will still tour. But it's just, it'll be a case of, the routine that we're used to and how easy it was will become difficult. But you adapt to whatever. So
for sure. Yeah. Well, tell me this. I mean, talking about touring in Europe and everything, do you have an actual favorite country that you like to tour in?
Fuck. Dude, it's hard, man. Like, there's certain places which have been really wicked. Germany is just, it's fucking stupid, man. It's on another level. Like, the doors open, motherfuckers are down at the front, like, running to the front in club shows. And as soon as the first note plays, the windmill in their hair, like,
nice.
This is like, wild, like old fucking circa 2014 Trivium shit. Like,
there you go.
But yeah, no, Germany's always wicked, man. I really, really like Hungary, particularly Budapest. Budapest is fucking sick.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we played on it was like a boat, not like I don't know what type of boat it was, but it was fucking huge.
Yeah.
And that was pretty sick. We had our own like cabins behind the
cool.
stage and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always a good one.
Like a cruise ship kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. Like not quite as big as a cruise ship, but it was pretty wicked to be able to, finish the show and go outside onto the deck of the boat. And
no, that's very cool. That's very cool. Well, I definitely got to bring this up as well. Talking about countries, I'm assuming that your favorite country not to play in is probably Italy, though, right?
Yeah, dude, Italy's awesome to us.
It's awesome, but yeah, how did all of that go? Because I saw the GoFundMe. I shared that around a little bit. So
appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did that work out with people supporting, and then what actually happened that night?
So it wasn't even fucking nighttime, dude. Like, honestly, legit, everybody knows that, particularly Milan is insane for it. I mean, like, so Miss May I had their stuff stolen.
Oh, that's right, they did. Yeah.
The Browning.
The Browning had everything. Oh, yeah.
They got fucking screwed. Yeah, so we pulled up to the venue, and it's like a case of when you're at the venue, even the promoter's giving you the heads up.
Mm-hmm.
We were unloading the van. Like, we were there for a while, unloading the van into the venue. It wasn't until we started sound checking, and Josh was like, where the fuck are my in-ears? We spent ages looking for them.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find them anywhere. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And we kind of got to the van, and we were checking all of the compartments. Then we looked in the front cabin, and Mike, our tour manager, was like, all my stuff has gone.
Wow.
We're like, what the fuck? So, like, someone had been at the van the entire time. So once we'd loaded in, Mike was in the van.
Wow.
So the only time that it could have been taken was literally when we pulled up and we were unloading.
Right. That's so quick.
Dude, it's fucking insane. So, like, the thing is, if you're gonna rob someone, that bands are a target.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, I don't really think it's a good idea when you get these, like tour van hire companies that put, the name of, touring van and stuff on the side, because you don't want to attract attention to yourselves, really.
Yeah, that's very true.
But we were unloading at the back, so the side door has the electronic lock and a deadlock, same with the front cabin and the back door.
Okay.
So we were unloading from the back, and the electronic lock has been clicked, and the front cabin didn't have the deadlock on it. So whilst we were unloading, someone has gone into the front cabin, taken everything of Mike's from there, which is like, including his like MacBook with all like our band finances on it.
Oh, wow.
He was literally left with the clothes on his back.
That's insane.
And then they leant into the back cabin and grabbed like Josh's bag and some of his stuff. And yeah, it's just literally must have bolted.
Whew.
But it's a pretty fucking shady area anyway. But luckily, we could still play, which was good. You didn't fuck over the tour, but touring is hard enough,
right?
Without the added stress of shit like that, And I mean, I understand in some situations, some people are doing things like that because they need to survive.
Sure. Right.
But when you're robbing off other people, at the end of the day, like, we're spending personal money and putting everything we have into trying to make a career out of music, and then when someone comes and does that to you, it's like, fuck me. Like, it's just it's a kick in the cock.
Oh yeah. No, it's one of the things I get most upset about when it comes to the scene, because unfortunately we have it here in the States too. There's always a story of someone getting something stolen, a van being broken into, having instruments stolen, which is just, it's awful. And
yeah, man.
When I went to Rome a few years ago or so, I don't know if they told you this, but we were told when you go there that if you go into any fairs or any public places, that people would actually come up to you and might actually throw children at you, like little babies, because because your instant reaction, unless you're like a monster, is going to be to catch
the baby,
catch the baby, and then they pickpocket you because your hands, and they just leave. Sometimes they take the baby, sometimes they just leave it there.
Jesus Christ!
We were specifically told, and someone tried to do that to us when we were there. Yeah. Now,
what did you do?
Well, luckily, this wasn't a group that were willing to throw their child, which was nice.
Yeah.
They put it out. They outstretched their hands and kept on trying for us to take it. And we were just like, come on, there's no way that's going to happen. But, you know what I mean? But if they had thrown
I'm not actually in the market for a child today.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
And I've never been in the market, and I probably won't. So that was very strange, but it made me kind of laugh a little bit because I was just really happy that they didn't try and throw it. But apparently that's how things work over there sometimes.
That's fucked up, man. I went to Rome in May, and same thing. It's like, if you've got any bags or when you sat having dinner at a table, it's like you can't put your bag down on the floor or like your phone on the table or wallets out because they'll straight jacket. Like they'll have you.
Oh yeah, you're not safe with that. Let's talk about the positive though of this whole experience. One of the nice things about, being in 2019 is you can do GoFundMes. And it did look like a lot of people were able to help. So obviously that didn't help with the rest of the tour really, but for, getting some items back and being able to, rebuild, was that good at least?
Oh, massively, dude. Like, we're absolutely fucking blown away. And I know, like, for a fact that Josh was like, he spent a lot of time messaging people personally just to say, thank you for helping out and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things like, I don't want to sound bad, but it's a nice reminder to us, like, just how fucking awesome our fans are. Because, it's always cool, when people, always show love and support for the band. But in a situation like that, you really feel the love because, no one has to do that. No one, has to help. And the fact that people are quite, willing to do that out of the good of their heart is insane. And it means a lot to all of us. And massively appreciate it.
That is awesome. So we've been going off on tangents, which is normal for this show. But let's talk about the band, obviously. Now, one big thing I did want to ask you that I haven't actually had to ask a lot of bands, but so you've got yourself and you've got Alex on guitars, you've got Josh on drums, and then you've got Ben doing vocals. So what was the choice of not having a bassist?
So when we originally started the band with just me, Al, and Ben, so just two guitarists and a vocalist. So we recorded Unbreakable like prior to even having a drummer or a bassist.
Yeah.
And it was like, right, let's find members who we can get in a music video just so we can like launch the band whilst we were writing the debut album before we even launched the band. So it was to get the ball moving and kind of be in the public eye. So we had original drummer who was Andy McMullen and bass player was Cam Bland.
Okay.
And so they were both joined the band in the terms of like, there would be like kind of temporary fill-ins just for the sake of being able to launch the band. And Cam did play bass for us for a while, but kind of just wasn't really his thing. And he had kind of other things going on. So kind of left separate ways to the band. And Andy was never meant to be a full-time member. And our producer actually said to us, like, you need to get this guy called Josh Hardy.
Yeah.
But I'd never met him before. I know Al had played a show with him like years ago. So we went and met up with him and got him on drums. It was an instant like click.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point we were kind of like, we have our bass on tracks.
Yeah.
So our bass is all recorded in the studio. It's perfectly in time. It sounds fucking dope.
Yeah.
And I think we were just kind of like, cause the thing with the band is it's more than just, playing music or, standing there and playing a song. Like our band is like our fucking family. Like we are all insanely close. Like we all speak like constantly all day, every day.
Okay.
The only people we actually hang out with is each other. So it's like, it's not just a case of finding someone who can play bass. It's, basically bringing someone into your family, which is,
right.
Always a bit of a weird thing. Yeah, for sure, man. like we always said, if we met the right person, through touring over the years or whatever, and it was like something that we wanted to do, we'd do it.
Mhm.
But at the moment, our bass player is called Tyrone. He is the backing track. He actually has on Instagram. You can follow him on Instagram. It's Tyrone_IV.
Okay.
He's basically a big ass flight case with a laptop on top and all of our nerd shit.
Gotcha. All right.
But he never misses a note. He never drinks too much before a show.
That's
He's
right.
fucking solid, dude.
Now, on that note, though, have either of you guys ever drank too much before a show?
Yes. Categorically, yes. Yeah, that happens quite a lot.
Well, I mean, you are English, so it makes sense. I mean,
yeah, dude. Have you not noticed on the recurring theme on both of the albums, the lyric that always seems to top up is "too much is never enough."
Yes, exactly.
But I mean, yeah, it's like we have before. It's mainly me and Al. Me and Al, we drink the most, but we also practice drugs. So it works in roundabouts.
That's the exact same thing I do with sports sometimes. You have to have some drinks out before you go do stuff. So I totally get it.
Sure.
Well, now,
for sure.
So obviously, one of the main reasons why you guys do so well as a band is because, like you said, you guys are family. You're very in sync. So how do you and Alex, kind of switch off with writing? How do you guys make that whole entire thing work?
It's a bit of a weird one. Like, it can completely vary. So sometimes we're hanging out, drinking some beers, and like, right, let's write a song. And sometimes we come up with something amazing. Other times we don't. I'll give you a prime example. One night we literally started like, right, let's write a song. And we wrote "Good for Nothing." We wrote that in 3 hours.
Wow.
And yeah, that shit's never happened before for us. It normally takes a lot longer, but we wrote that song in 3 hours and then tracked it the next day and then sat on it for a year.
Wow. Damn.
Other times we sit and try and write songs. We think something sounds really good, and then we realize that it's actually just August Burns Red, and and we delete the entire project.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, it totally depends. Like, we do a lot of stuff separately. So for example, today I've been working on my own. I know Al's currently got a couple of tracks on the go. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time, I'll get stuff to the point where it is very, very close to being done, including like all the production parts, strings and synths and everything, to the point where we can literally take into the studio and we just retrack the guitars and but a lot of time Al will send me like finished songs, and then we'll kind of make little minor changes and just retrack them just to make sure that we're super happy with them. I mean, it completely depends. Like, we kind of have on and off seasons. Like, for the last album, me and Al wrote a couple of songs together. He wrote 1 or 2 songs on his own, and then I wrote quite a few just literally locked in a room.
Oh wow!
Didn't fucking go out for a long ass time.
Yeah,
you're getting your friends like, oh yeah, why won't you come out? And you're like, dude, I'm trying to write a fucking record, mate. Like,
exactly.
I prefer not to be hungover tomorrow and actually have a song to show for the weekend instead of just an empty pack of fucking painkillers because my head's killing.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it totally varies. But a lot of the time, it's always music first.
Okay.
We always do the entirety of the music, and we don't actually add vocals till the album or single is going to be done for like the complete project.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's just something we've kind of found, because we don't write super quick, in the sense of, some bands would be like, okay, they'll go in the studio and write an album in a month. Mm-hmm. For us, everything's meticulous. Like, metal's a bit like math. Sure. It's like everything, like, we analyze every fucking note and every single lyric, and making sure everything is the best it could be, and it takes a while. So the kind of way we found to keep songs fresh to us is, if we do all the music, it could be, say, 6 months before the whole record's done in terms of the music.
Okay.
But then we can start adding vocals, and it feels fresh again because you've not heard it with vocals, so you fall in love with the song again.
Right.
Which is just a really cool way of kind of breathing new life into them, because otherwise, by the time like we got into the studio to do them, we wouldn't really be feeling it, and it might just be a bit,
No, it'd be a little tougher. So that completely makes sense. I mean, music first is often the way a lot of bands do it. You guys do seem to be very meticulous with everything that you do, and you're all very talented. And then you take that.
I mean, we're not, but
all right, that's my opinion. I'll say my opinion is I think you're talented.
Cheers, man. Appreciate that.
Of course. So then you guys work on all this music, and then, instrumentation, like you said, the electronics, you're putting everything in. And then do you send it off to Ben? Does he then write lyrics and then get back to you? Or are you guys doing a collaborative process on that?
To be fair, I mean, a lot of the time, me and Al write the lyrics as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I think we've always been really interested in lyric writing, and it's kind of something that kind of happened in the early days. I mean, Ben does write parts and contribute stuff, but it's just one of those things where, I don't know, I'm a bit of an obsessive control freak. No, I don't know. I think it's just a collaboration of things. Like, there's always parts that get changed and added in the studio, but it's something that kind of just like has happened when we were writing Unbreakable. We kind of sat down, me, Ben, and Sam, who's our producer, and we were working together. And from there, it's just kind of been like, whoever's got stuff kind of spits it. Like, Ben will send me lyric pads over, and we'll kind of take bits and rework stuff. It depends who's got something to say.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that also makes sense. But I guess one of the big things then is, because one of the really unique things about InVisions is that not only do you guys have great instrumentation, but you've also got Ben, who's doing all these different styles of vocals on top of each other.
Demon.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, and he's nailing every single one. So when you're writing lyrics, let's just say you, for instance, if you're writing lyrics, are you thinking in your head, oh, this would be a great, singing part. This would be a great, deathcore wail part. Like, is that in your head, or is that something that you guys all collaborate on with Ben?
So what I actually do is, when I'm writing the vocals, I actually record a version of the vocals myself.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'll send him the project with like the different layers, like the highs and the lows and all these kind of things. So a lot of the time, by the time we get into the studio, everything is already pegged down, so it doesn't necessarily need to be like tried in loads of different ways, because we've already done it. Studio time costs, man. Like, at the end of the day, when you're trying to get in there and get something done, figuring stuff out is what just eats money.
Exactly. Yep.
And it's like, if we have the ability to do it ourselves at home, why the fuck wouldn't we?
Yes. Very true.
So yeah, I mean, I used to do a bit of vocals in previous bands, and like, me and Ben have quite a similar sounding voice to a degree. Well, it's a bit of a strange thing, probably because I just try and sound like Ben when I do demos, because that way it's easier to understand for him.
Right.
But so we kind of, I think it's just a lot of the thing is as well, it's just taking inspiration from bands that we used to listen to, like, Asking and Attila. It's the layered vocals, the dynamics.
Yes.
And I think if you treat vocals like you would any other instrument, so, your lows, your bass notes, your highs, your high notes, and then you've got mid screams as well. So it's trying to cover all of those, and it just kind of creates this wall of gnarly shit, which is really great to listen to.
Yep.
And I think that's, for me personally, especially when I'm listening to music, I love dynamics and screams.
Yeah.
It's like, if it's all one continuous monotone, then I'm not going to connect to it. And the same with pronunciation. Like, if people aren't pronouncing the words very well, you can't get attached to a song if you can't understand what it is.
Very true.
So it's like something you'll notice in like our records. Ben is absolutely on point with pronouncing all the words. So even though he's screaming, what word he's saying.
Yes.
Which is awesome, because it means that people can actually get the message of the song and not just kind of hear what's effectively a pattern.
Right. Yeah. No, I kind of equate it a little bit to Veil of Maya.
Yeah.
A lot, with how their vocalist does so many different styles, but he pronunciates very, very well.
For sure. It's important, dude. It's like the same in hip hop. Like, if if you're doing fucking double time bars, but you're not actually pronouncing or saying anything, then you're literally just providing a percussion instrument over a beat.
Yep.
It's, it has to be content as well as, flow.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I stated before, I haven't had a chance to see you guys live yet, but I'm assuming because of all the layering and overlapping of vocals when you're live and you want it to sound like the album itself, are you helping, kind of cover some of those overlapping parts with Ben?
Actually, no. I mean, to be honest, with the tracks, you notice there's a lot of overlapping, but there's always one which is more dominant than the other.
Okay.
So it's never like when you hear the record, there's one, it's 50-50, and they're both kind of the same level. There's always a dominant layer. So Ben does just the dominant layers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain times that I'll do odd bits of like backing clean shit, but not really any kind of scream stuff.
Okay.
It's like generally like if you want to see how the man operates, hit up our social media. We posted a video of him doing the fucking double time bars and Parasite.
Right. I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's like the man's a fucking demon, mate.
Yes.
I don't understand. I'm not gonna try and understand. I'm just gonna let it be and enjoy.
There you go. That is a good message to everyone for sure. Absolutely. So let me ask, going back to Never Nothing, and then Between You and Me, when you guys were working on that, was there anything in the new album that you really wanted to showcase compared to Never Nothing? Was there something you learned from, whether it was production or writing or something, going from the first album to the second, that you really wanted to showcase?
Yeah, man. I think with the first record, we hadn't actually ever played live by the time we'd finished the record.
Wow.
So we didn't really know what we wanted to sound like.
Mm-hmm.
But moving forward from that, it was kind of like, well, we know we want to play heavy fucking music. And the first record was, we were kind of getting back onto the scene after all kind of our previous bands not been doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of really, really cool records coming out whilst we were kind of releasing Never Nothing, which definitely inspired the sound. And I think we learned a lot from the recording of Never Nothing, especially production-wise, working with Sam and Joe.
Right.
We learned a lot about, the stuff that they use to enhance songs and kind of the methods. And it's something that I've kind of brought into the work that I do at home in pre-production.
Sure.
And yeah, we just like, you know what, the first record, we still fucking love it. It's a lot more, I'd say it's a lot more dynamic than Between You and Me is. I think Between You and Me is more of just a solid statement, a kick in the balls.
Sure.
It's like, we wanted to have that heavy as fuck album where every single song on it, we want to play live.
Right.
And that was kind of the mission statement. We want an album which is, all killer, no filler, and something that we want to play, night after night.
Right.
And we're not going to say, we don't want to play that song because it's a bit slow or, it's not, one of our favorites. Like the whole record is, for us, we fucking love the entire thing. So trying to fucking sort out set list, man, is a nightmare.
Oh, I'd imagine.
No one ever tells you this shit, right?
Right.
No one in bands never fucking tells you. You release a couple of albums and like trying to do a half an hour set. You're like, fuck me, what am I meant to play? Like, Jesus Christ.
Exactly. And like you mentioned, you really don't have any fill. I mean, there's an interlude on Never Nothing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
and then like no intro, no outros. And look, personally, I love that.
Sure.
But for a band where you're putting out an album, 12 tracks or so, over 40 minutes, maybe 45 plus.
Yeah.
That's a lot to have to choose from. Like when you said to try and make a 30-minute playlist.
Sure.
Or set list, I should say. Then how do you fit all your favorite songs into that?
For sure, it's a bit of a compromise because it's not always, the songs we necessarily want to play. It's the songs that fans want to hear. It's trying to, it's hard because you have to think about the shows in the sense of there's people at shows who haven't seen you before and there's people who want to hear different songs.
Right.
So it's trying to find the right balance and kind of keep varying it. You'll always have your kind of staple tracks that you have to play.
Right.
But then it's, you have your additional ones which you can kind of mix up and, play around with. But I think 45-minute sets, an hour set, I'm leaning more towards them at the moment purely because of, it just makes life so much easier. And I think it gives us a bit more breathing room in terms of, we will play, like we'll cram sets and play an extra song and have less time in between songs purely because we'd rather play more songs and we're like, fuck, if we can just squeeze this one in as well, It's like all our sets like pre-programmed on a laptop, And, normally the standard thing is if you're doing a 30-minute set, you'd program 25 minutes, but we're there like pushing that motherfucker to like 29 minutes, 30. Like if anything goes wrong, we're fucked, but we might get an extra song out of it.
I think the fans will definitely appreciate that for sure. So one thing I want to hit on as well is you've mentioned Sam and Joe.
Yeah, man.
Obviously, the Graves, and they've worked with some great bands, Asking, I Set to Kill, Yashin, who's a personal favorites of mine. So when working with them, now coming up on, you had mentioned you're writing more, and you guys are probably going to be releasing something soon. Are you going to be working with them again, or are you going to be switching it up?
Well, absolutely be working with them again.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Like, I've known Sam and Joe since I was a sperm. Like we all grew up with those guys, so the working relationship is insane.
That's great.
They absolutely hate me because the amount of mixed revisions I send them.
Right.
But they don't freak, so that's why we're going back.
yeah. You don't want to start that with another group that's going to be like, no, we don't need any of these revisions. We've got it, and then you're like, no, fuck no. Yeah.
Look, like they're just sick, man. Like they're the best at what they do.
Yeah.
They're from the same city as us. We have a really good working relationship with them as well as a friendship. So whilst we are recording, we have the best time.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's important, man, because if you're in an atmosphere where you're not feeling it, or it's not really kind of if you're not feeling inspired by the people you're working with, then I think you're doing something wrong. And Sam and Joe have a really, really good vibe that you always feel inspired by what they do, which ultimately leads you to having a better product.
Right. Absolutely. So now, talking about working with them again, and then obviously you mentioned at the very beginning of our conversation that you're working on new music. Do you have an idea right now of where you guys might be on that line of getting new releases out?
It's going to be a minute. I can say that. The thing that we do as a band is, if you noticed, I think we launched the band in 2016. Maybe?
Yeah.
So there's not been a single year that we haven't released music.
Right.
And in the space of, I guess it's 4 years now, we've released 27 songs or something.
Wow. Impressive.
Which is pretty insane. So I think for us, the second album was quite easy. It was like, we know where we want to go with this. We know what we want to do. Mm-hmm. We've got all this inspiration. We were sat on Never Nothing for over a year before we even started releasing songs from it.
Right.
So, we'd had a year before the album had even been out to kind of have a bit of space and, chill out before we actually have to start writing. Because the issue is, if you try and start writing straight after a record, you basically just start writing B-sides for the last record.
Right.
And nobody fucking wants that.
That makes total sense. So
yeah, man.
So where right now, as you're, because it's been enough time since the last album that you're writing, do you see yourself going in a similar direction of Between You and Me? Maybe not, a B-side, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you guys are changing? Because I'm sure you keep up to date with what's happening in the scene, and you see a lot of bands going extreme pop, like extreme pop, and leaving those metalcore roots. Yeah. Like where's your mindset at for that?
My mindset is I still want to play heavy fucking music, dude. So that's what we're going to do.
That's what I want to hear. Thank you.
I totally feel you on that, man. Don't be wrong. Like, I love all these bands that are releasing these lighter albums, and I actually don't dislike the albums. That's the thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
But like a lot of the time, I don't, like, by any means. I mean, I listen to loads of fucking pop as well, because I mean, who writes the best choruses in the world? Pop artists.
Gotcha.
But the thing for me is, like, it's a career move. It's a career or a maturity move, and I think we're kind of still in this era of everyone's still on the Bring Me the Horizon emulation cycle.
Yep.
And whilst that's wicked, like Bring Me a Unreal, I think you've kind of got to be careful with what you do emulate, because so many bands are doing it that it's got to the point where an album comes out and it's not like the old album, and it's like, okay, so this is their commercial album.
Right.
And it feels like a lot of people are doing that at the moment, and that's I get it. I totally get it, and I don't I don't blame anyone for doing that or wanting to try and write something completely different.
Right.
But I mean, personally, for us, I don't think we could.
Gotcha.
We like the heavy shit, man. I think the songs that are lighter, we don't want to play live because we find them like boring to play.
Right.
We want a song where people are gonna come to a show with their best mate. The beatdown's gonna kick. They're gonna turn around and go punch the best mate and the friend, and they have the best fucking night of their lives.
Oh, you should put that on a T-shirt.
We might do.
I think that would work. Well, no, I really like that answer. I think a lot of people listening will like to hear that answer as well. So I'm looking at the time right now. We are coming up to almost an hour. So that flew by.
For real, man. For real.
I'm sure we could talk about a lot more, but I do have to hit on something. You are English. I grew up in England as well. It would not be a complete conversation if I didn't ask you about football.
Mate, you're gonna be extremely disappointed because I can give a flying fuck about football.
Okay. Well, hey,
if you had Josh,
whoa, hey Lucas,
or Al, yo,
I heard like a big bunch of robot noises.
That's bad news, mate. That's real bad news.
It wasn't good. So if you want to start that over, I think that'll work.
All right, yeah. So I couldn't give a flying fuck, mate. Straight up.
I understand.
I mean, if you had Ben or Al, they would literally probably spend the next 20 minutes sucking off Liverpool.
Yes. Sorry, dude. I was so worried because look, this is what was going to happen. Not to cut you off there, but I know where you were heading on that one. If you tell me you don't care about football, that's awesome. If you were to be all of a sudden like, hey, I love Man U or Everton or anyone else, I would have had to delete the interview. This all would have been a waste of time. But especially you telling me that Ben and Al are huge Liverpool fans, that's been my team since I was 3. So that we are all good and you have a supporter for life.
Oh, dude. Yeah, mate, they're all about it. Like one show we played middle of this year, I don't know what the cup was or whatever, man. I'm not into it, like I said, but Al had his phone duct taped to a monitor on stage so he could keep an eye on it.
There you go. Well, it might have been the Champions League final.
Probably was, yeah.
Oh man, okay. Well, that's fine. Now let me ask you this then. So besides football, not caring about that as much,
yeah.
Do you have anything else hobby-wise that you enjoy that's not music related?
Not massively, to be honest, man. Like, I'm kind of 100% involved in the music, like the music side of it, the business side of it. Other than that, I just play normal motherfucker.
Yeah, sorry, everyone. Lucas went robot again. So I think if I'm not mistaken, you said you just don't really care about much except for music, right?
That's pretty much it, mate. Yeah, okay. I'm just always involved in, writing music, prepping stuff for the band, or just doing like business things and kind of keeping, the business aspects involved. If not, I'm just, your regular guy, just going to work, going to the gym, coming home and doing all the music shit, man.
There you go. Well, look, I know we could go a lot longer. We're going to have you on again because we can probably talk anything at this point.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
So let's definitely do that. But for right now, let's cut this before you go completely robot. I mean, look, the technology lasted for a long time. That sounded great until this very ending part. So we actually did really well with Skype. I have to give Skype credit for that.
There's probably someone in the house next door to me downloading some porn or something.
Or mine. Or I've also been watching porn while we've been talking. So it's probably my fault.
It's cool, dude. I was doing exactly the same thing.
See? We're on the same page for sure. So for absolutely sure, we need to let everyone know, go out, listen to everything that the guys have. I mean, InVisions is such a great band. Go listen to Never Nothing, listen to Between You and Me. Keep up to date with everything they've got because it sounds like new music will be coming at some point relatively soon. And
for sure.
To make this a little bit easier, we'll have links in the description of the episode so that this will make everything very, very easy for everybody. But until then, Lucas, what is the best way for people to support you guys?
Just check us out, share the video, man. Like, we're all about getting that reach. If you can show your friends who like the music, that's what's important to us. If you can check us out, show your homies, if you would buy some merch, that's all we ask for. We don't really care. If you enjoy our music, then cool, speak to us, hang out with us, like come to a show, man. We're super friendly and we're always like hanging out at shows. So come smoke a beer with us.
There you go. Absolutely, man. Well, we're going to talk a little bit off air, but I wanted to thank you once again. This was a lot of fun, and I think people are really going to enjoy, hearing your personality and hearing what the band has been up to and all that kind of good stuff. So once again, man,